the Doom Slayer. A man so angry he spent eons killing demons in hell. Khorne, the chaos god of war, blood, and rage. The god worshipped by billions who feeds on violence across the galaxy. One is the ultimate demon killer. The other is the ultimate demon. What happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object? What happens when the man who conquered hell faces the god who is hell? This is the matchup everyone's been asking for since I did Spartans versus Space Marines. Doom fans say the Slayer is unkillable. He's killed god-tier demons. He's powered by pure rage and divine energy. Warhammer fans say Khorne is a literal god. You can't kill a concept. He exists in a dimension beyond reality. Both sides have been arguing for years, and today I'm settling it. I spent weeks researching this. I played every Doom game, read every codex entry, analyzed every feat. I read Warhammer 40K novels about Khorne, studied his lore, his powers, his champions. I'm giving you the most comprehensive Doomslayer versus Khorne analysis ever made. We're comparing their origins, their powers, their kills, their weaknesses. Then we're running scenarios to see what actually happens when they fight. And, yes, I'm giving you a real answer. One of them wins. I'm not copping out with "it depends," or they're from different universes, so you can't compare. By the end of this hour, you'll know exactly who wins and why. Let's start with the Doomslayer, because if you don't understand what he is, you can't understand why this fight is even close. The Doomslayer is not human anymore. He was once a man, a space marine who fought demons on Mars and Phobos. But in Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, we learn his true origin. After the events of the original Doom games, the Doom Marine was transported to Argen-Danur, a world in another dimension. There, he fought alongside the Night Sentinels, defending their world from demons. When Argen-Danur fell and the Night Sentinels were betrayed, the Doom Marine was left stranded in hell. And he didn't die. He got angry. For eons, the Doom Marine rampaged through hell, killing every demon he found. The demons called him the Doomslayer, the Hellwalker, the Unchained Predator. They feared him. Entire legions of demons were sent to stop him, and he killed them all. Eventually, the demons couldn't kill him, so they collapsed a temple on him and sealed him in a sarcophagus. That's where we find him at the start of Doom 2016. But here's the key thing. The Doomslayer isn't just a really tough human. According to the lore, he was given power by the Seraphim, an angelic being who used the divinity machine to transform him. The Slayer absorbed energy from the wraiths of Argent-Danur, making him something beyond mortal. He doesn't age, he doesn't tire, he doesn't need to eat or sleep. He exists in a state of eternal rage, fueled by divine energy. The demons in Doom lore describe him as an immortal force of nature. The Slayer's testament says he is rage incarnate. He cannot be stopped. He will rip and tear until it is done. Now, let's talk about his feats, because this is where it gets insane. In Doom 2016, the Slayer fights through Mars, Hell, and back, killing thousands of demons. In Doom Eternal, he kills the 3 Hell Priests who are ancient god-tier demons. He kills the Khan Maker, who is an angelic being that ruled a dimension. He kills the Icon of Sin, which is a demon so powerful it warps reality and would have destroyed the universe if left alive. The icon of sin is stated in the Codex to grow stronger the longer it exists and will eventually consume all of creation. The Slayer killed it. In the Ancient Gods DLC, the Slayer kills the Dark Lord Davoth, who is revealed to be the literal creator of all things in the Doom universe. Davoth created the Doom multiverse. He created the Makers. He created everything. And the Slayer killed him in single combat. Let me repeat that. The Doom Slayer killed the creator god of his universe. That's his peak feat. He killed capital G God and then walked away. Now, let's talk about his abilities. The Slayer has superhuman strength. He can rip demons apart with his bare hands. He punches through steel, concrete, and demonic armor like it's paper. He's fast enough to dodge plasma bolts and rocket fire at close range. His reflexes are superhuman. He's durable enough to tank explosions, plasma fire, and hits from building-sized demons. He heals by killing demons and absorbing their essence, so the more he fights, the stronger he gets. He has the Praetor suit, which is powered armor that enhances all his abilities and protects him from environmental hazards. He has an arsenal of weapons including the BFG 9000, which fires balls of argent energy that vaporize everything in a room. The Crucible, which is a lightsaber that one-shots almost anything. And the Unmaker, which fires beams of concentrated argent energy. But the most important thing about the Slayer is this: he cannot be killed by demons. The lore is explicit about this. Demons cannot harm him permanently. Every time they knock him down, he gets back up angrier than before. The demons tried for eons to kill him and failed. The only way they stopped him was by trapping him, and even that didn't work forever. The Slayer is functionally immortal as long as demons exist to fuel his rage. That's the Doomslayer, a morally fueled god-killer who spent eons in hell killing demons for fun. Now, let's talk about Khorne and understand what the Slayer is up against. Khorne is one of the 4 Chaos Gods in Warhammer 40K. He is the god of war, murder, rage, and bloodshed. Every act of violence in the galaxy feeds Khorne. Every warrior who dies screaming his name makes him stronger. Khorne is worshipped by billions of Chaos Space Marines, cultists, and mortal warriors across the galaxy. He is the most straightforward of the Chaos Gods. He doesn't scheme like Tzeentch, or corrupt like Nurgle, or seduce like Slaanesh. Khorne just wants blood and skulls. It doesn't matter whose blood. Khorne cares not from whence the blood flows, only that it flows. Khorne exists in the Warp, which is a parallel dimension of pure psychic energy. The Warp is where thoughts and emotions become real. Khorne is the manifestation of all rage, hate, and violence in the galaxy. He is a concept given form. He is not a physical being you can punch. He is an idea, a force, a god in the most literal sense. Khorne's power is proportional to how much violence exists in the galaxy. As long as there is war, Khorne exists. You cannot kill Khorne by destroying his body because he doesn't have a body in the traditional sense. He is a presence in the Warp. But Khorne can manifest. He can send aspects of himself into reality through his demons. Bloodthirsters are Khorne's greatest demons, 30-foot-tall winged demons with axes that can cut through tank armor. Bloodletters are his foot soldiers. Red-skinned demons with hellblades. And Khorne can empower mortal champions. Angron, the demon primarch of the World Eaters, is Khorne's greatest mortal champion. Angron is a 20-foot-tall rage monster who levels cities and kills armies single-handedly. Khorne's realm in the warp is a brass fortress built on a mountain of skulls. His throne is made of skulls. Rivers of blood flow through his domain. It is a reflection of endless war. Khorne sits on his throne and watches the galaxy burn. He is pleased by this. Now, here's where it gets complicated. Khorne, as a concept, is unkillable. But Khorne's avatars, his demons, and his champions can be killed. Sanguinius, the Blood Angels. Primarch wounded the bloodthirster Kabanda and threw him off the walls of Terra. Guilliman killed demons of Khorne when he returned. The Grey Knights specialize in killing demons, and they've banished greater demons of Khorne before. So, while Khorne himself is immortal, his manifestations in reality are not. This creates a problem for our matchup. If the Doomslayer fights Khorne's mortal form or his avatars, he might win. But can he kill Khorne as a concept? Can he enter the warp and destroy Khorne's essence? That's the question we need to answer. Let's compare their powers directly. Strength. The Doomslayer can punch through demonic armor and rip 20-foot demons apart. He's ridiculously strong. But Khorne's bloodthirsters can tear apart tanks and Angron can lift titans. If we're comparing physical manifestations, Khorne's avatars are at least equal to the Slayer in raw strength. Edge slightly to Khorne for having bigger avatars. Speed. The Doomslayer is fast. He dodges rockets and plasma fire. He moves in bullet time. But demons of Khorne are also fast. Bloodthirsters can cross battlefields in seconds. Angron moves so fast, Space Marines can't track him. This is close, but I'd give edge to the Slayer because his feats show more consistent speed. Durability. The Slayer tanks explosions and gets back up. He's been hit by building-sized demons and keeps fighting. He's immortal to demonic harm. Khorne's avatars are also incredibly tough. Bloodthirsters take concentrated fire from entire armies. Angron survived orbital bombardment. But here's the thing. Khorne's avatars can be banished. The Slayer cannot be permanently killed by demons. Edge to the Slayer. Weapons. The Slayer has the BFG, the Crucible, the Unmaker, and a dozen other weapons that vaporize demons. Khorne has demonic weapons that can cut through reality. Bloodthirsters wield axes that can one-shot Space Marines. This is a tie because both have weapons that can kill God-tier beings. Powers. The Slayer has divine energy from the Seraphim. He can absorb demonic essence to heal. He has glory kills that restore his health. Khorne has reality warping in the warp. He can corrupt people through exposure to violence. He can empower his champions with demonic power. Edge to Khorne, because reality warping is stronger than healing. Now, let's talk about the philosophical problem. Can you kill a god? In Doom, yes. The Slayer killed Davoth, who was the creator god. But Davoth had a physical form. The Slayer stabbed him with the Crucible, and Davith died. Khorne doesn't have a physical form in the same way. Khorne is a warp entity, a manifestation of emotion. Killing Khorne would require erasing all violence from the galaxy, which is impossible. As long as one person feels rage, Khorne exists. But wait. In Doom lore, we learn that the Slayer's power is tied to Davoth. When Davoth dies, the Slayer collapses because his power was derived from Davoth's essence. This implies the Slayer is mortal again, or at least weakened without a source of divine power. But the Slayer still wakes up at the end, implying he's still alive, just depowered. This is unclear, and fans argue about it. Here's my interpretation. The Slayer, as he exists at the end of Doom Eternal, has killed a creator god and absorbed insane amounts of Argent energy. Even if he's technically depowered, he's still the most powerful version of himself that ever existed. He has experience killing god-tier demons, including the Icon of Sin, which is stated to be a multiversal threat. The Slayer knows how to kill gods. Now, let's run scenarios because we need to test this properly. Scenario 1. The Doomslayer is dropped into the Warhammer 40K galaxy on a Khorne corrupted world. He has all his weapons and armor. A bloodthirster is sent to kill him. What happens? The bloodthirster is 30 feet tall, winged, armed with an axe that can cut through tank armor. It can fly, it's superhumanly strong, and it's killed space marines by the dozen. The Slayer has fought and killed similar demons. The Icon of Sin was a building-sized demon that warped reality. The Titans in Doom lore are massive demons the Slayer killed with his bare hands. A bloodthirster is big but not unprecedented. The fight starts. The bloodthirster charges. The Slayer pulls out the BFG and fires. The BFG is a plasma weapon that vaporizes everything in its path. We've seen it one-shot huge demons. Does it kill the bloodthirster? In 40K lore, plasma weapons can hurt demons, but they often take concentrated fire to bring down greater demons. The BFG is more powerful than a standard plasma gun, but it's not infinite. One shot probably won't kill the bloodthirster outright, but it will hurt it. The bloodthirster is wounded but not dead. It closes distance and swings its axe. The Slayer dodges because he's fast enough to dodge rockets. He pulls out the Crucible, which is a blade of pure Argent energy. The Crucible can one-shot almost anything in Doom. He slashes at the bloodthirster. Does it work? In 40K lore, force weapons and blessed blades can kill demons permanently. The Crucible is empowered by divine energy. It should work. The Slayer kills the bloodthirster. It's a hard fight, but he's killed bigger demons before. The bloodthirster is banished back to the warp. Winner Scenario 1. Doomslayer. Scenario 2. The Doomslayer versus Angron, the Demon Primarch. Angron is Khorne's greatest mortal champion. He's a 20-foot-tall rage monster empowered by chaos. He's killed entire armies. He nearly beat Guilliman in single combat, and Guilliman is a Primarch with the Emperor's sword. Can the Slayer beat Angron? Angron is stronger than a bloodthirster. He's faster, tougher, and has more combat experience. He's been fighting for 10,000 years. He wields Gorechild, a demon weapon that can cut through anything. The Slayer has killed god-tier demons, but Angron is on another level. Angron doesn't just fight, he's an embodiment of Khorne's wrath. The fight starts. Angron charges. He's faster than the Slayer expected. The Slayer fires the BFG. Angron tanks it. He's too tough, too empowered by Khorne. The Slayer switches to the Crucible. They clash in melee. Angron's Gorechild versus the Slayer's Crucible. They're evenly matched in a blade fight. But Angron is stronger. He's bigger. He has more reach, and he's fought Primarchs. The Slayer is getting pushed back. But here's the thing. The Slayer doesn't tire. Angron does. Demon Primarchs can be worn down. The Slayer keeps fighting, keeps dodging, keeps landing hits. Slowly, he's chipping away at Angron. The Crucible is cutting through Angron's armor. Angron is bleeding. But Angron is also healing. Khorne is empowering him. Every moment of rage makes Angron stronger. This is a battle of attrition. Can the Slayer kill Angron before Angron kills him? I'm giving this one to Angron 6 out of 10 times. Angron is just too big, too experienced, and too empowered by Khorne. The Slayer would wound him badly, but ultimately Angron's durability and Khorne's empowerment would win. Winner. Scenario 2. Angron. Scenario 3. The Doomslayer enters the warp and confronts Khorne directly in his brass citadel. Can the Slayer kill Khorne in his own realm? This is the big one. The warp is Khorne's domain. Reality doesn't work normally there. Khorne can manipulate the environment, summon infinite demons, and his power is at its peak. The Slayer would be fighting in enemy territory. But the Slayer has been in Hell, which is a similar concept. Hell in Doom is a dimension where demons have infinite power, and they still couldn't kill him. The Slayer enters the brass citadel. Khorne sends waves of demons, bloodletters, bloodthirsters, demon engines, everything. The Slayer fights his way through. He's done this before. In Doom Eternal, he fought through Hell, killing everything in his path. He's a one-man army. The demons can't stop him. He reaches Khorne's throne. Khorne manifests. Not as a full avatar, but as a presence, a voice, a force. Khorne is larger than the room, larger than reality. He is the concept of rage itself. The Slayer pulls out the Crucible and charges. He tries to stab Khorne. What happens? Here's where we hit the wall. Khorne is not a physical being in his realm. He is everywhere and nowhere. Stabbing him is like trying to stab an idea. The Crucible passes through him because there's nothing to stab. Khorne laughs. The Slayer's rage fuels Khorne. Every moment the Slayer is angry makes Khorne stronger. Khorne is literally feeding on the Slayer's fury. The Slayer realizes this. He's making Khorne stronger. He stops fighting. He tries to leave. But leaving the warp is not easy. Khorne could trap him there. Khorne could corrupt him. Khorne could turn the Slayer's rage against him. The Slayer would become a champion of Khorne. But here's the twist. The Slayer's rage is not chaotic. It's focused, pure, incorruptible. He's been in Hell for eons and never wavered. He's killed temptation demons, corruption demons, every kind of demon, and none could break him. The Slayer's will is absolute. Khorne cannot corrupt him, so we have a stalemate. Khorne can't corrupt the Slayer. The Slayer can't kill Khorne. They're locked in an eternal battle that neither can win. But Khorne doesn't need to win. He just needs the Slayer to keep fighting, because every fight fuels Khorne. winner. Scenario 3, stalemate but advantage Khorne. Now, let's talk about the real question. Could the Doomslayer permanently destroy Khorne? Not just banish him or wound him, but erase him from existence. In Doom lore, the Slayer killed Davoth by stabbing him with the Crucible. Davoth was the creator god, the source of all life in the Doom multiverse. When he died, everything connected to him weakened, including the Slayer. This proves you can kill a creator god in Doom lore. But Davoth had a physical form. He was in a mech suit. The Slayer destroyed the mech and stabbed Davoth's body. Khorne doesn't have a body in the same way. Khorne is a warp entity. To kill Khorne permanently, you would need to do one of three things. 1. Erase all violence from the galaxy so Khorne has no power source. Impossible. 2. Destroy the warp itself. Also impossible, and would kill every Psyker and Navigator in the galaxy. 3. Use a weapon that can kill concepts. Does the Slayer have such a weapon? The Crucible can kill anything in Doom lore, including god-tier demons and creator gods. But those beings all had physical forms. We don't have a feat of the Crucible killing a purely conceptual being. The icon of sin was warping reality, but it still had a body. Davoth had a body. Everything the Slayer killed had some kind of form. But wait, in 40K lore there is a way to permanently kill Chaos Gods. The Emperor could do it. The Emperor is the most powerful Psyker in the galaxy, and he fought all 4 Chaos Gods to a standstill during the Horus Heresy. If the Emperor left the Golden Throne and fully manifested his power, he could potentially kill a Chaos God by severing their connection to the warp. The Emperor is a god fighting gods. The Slayer is not at the Emperor's level. The Emperor created the Primarchs, who are demigods. The Slayer killed god-tier demons, but he's not a reality warper. He can't manipulate the warp. He can't sever Khorne's connection to emotion. The Slayer's power is physical. He punches things until they die. That works on physical beings, but not on concepts. So here's my conclusion. The Doomslayer can kill every manifestation of Khorne. He can kill bloodthirsters. He can wound Angron. He can banish demons back to the warp. But he cannot permanently destroy Khorne as a concept. Khorne will always come back as long as violence exists. Here's the twist. Khorne also cannot kill the Doomslayer. The Slayer is immune to demonic corruption. He's been in hell for eons and never broke. Khorne's demons cannot kill him permanently because the Slayer is powered by divine energy that makes him functionally immortal to demonic harm. Khorne would have to manifest in the physical universe and fight the Slayer directly. And if Khorne manifests physically, the Slayer can kill him. So we have a paradox. If Khorne stays in the warp, the Slayer can't kill him. If Khorne manifests physically, the Slayer can kill him. Khorne is safe as long as he doesn't fight. The Slayer is safe as long as he stays in reality. It's a stalemate. But let's say they have to fight. Let's say Khorne manifests in reality, and the Slayer has to kill him. Who wins that fight? Khorne, as a full avatar, would be insanely powerful. We're talking building-sized, reality warping, empowered by all violence in the galaxy. He would be stronger than Angron, stronger than any bloodthirster, stronger than anything the Slayer has fought except Davoth. But Davith was weaker when the Slayer fought him. Davith had been imprisoned and weakened over eons. Full power Davith created the multiverse. Weakened Davith was still a god, but he was beatable. Khorne is currently at full power. He's fed by endless war in the 40K galaxy. He's the strongest Chaos God after Tsienge. A full manifestation of Khorne would be a multiversal threat. The Slayer would need every weapon, every ability, and every ounce of rage to even have a chance. But here's what we know about the Slayer. He gets stronger the more he fights. His rage fuels him, and Khorne is the literal embodiment of rage. Fighting Khorne would empower the Slayer. The Slayer would be absorbing Khorne's essence every time he lands a hit. This is what the Slayer does. He kills demons and takes their power. Khorne is a demon. The Slayer kills demons. I'm going to make the controversial call. If Khorne manifests physically in the material universe and fights the Doomslayer in single combat, the Slayer wins 5.5 out of 10 times. It's close. It's the hardest fight the Slayer has ever had. But the Slayer has killed a creator god before, and Khorne in physical form is not more powerful than the creator of the multiverse. But if we're talking about Khorne in the warp, Khorne as a concept, the pure essence of rage and violence, the Slayer cannot win. You cannot kill an idea with a sword. The Slayer would be stuck in an eternal battle in the warp fighting Khorne's manifestations forever. He would never lose, but he would never win. That's arguably worse than dying. So here's my final answer. In a physical fight, Doomslayer wins 5.5 out of 10. In a conceptual fight where Khorne stays in the warp, Khorne wins because the Slayer can't kill concepts. Overall verdict depends on the battlefield. If they fight in reality, Slayer wins. If they fight in the warp, Khorne wins. But let me address the biggest argument from both sides. Warhammer fans say the Doomslayer is just a strong human, and Khorne is a literal god worshipped by billions and empowered by all violence in the galaxy. There's no comparison. The Slayer would be corrupted instantly or crushed like a bug. Doom fans say the Slayer killed Davith, who created the entire Doom multiverse, and is confirmed to be more powerful than any demon, including the Icon of Sin, which was stated to be a multiversal threat. Khorne is a chaos god, but he's not a creator god. The Slayer has killed bigger things. Both sides have valid arguments. The problem is we're comparing power scaling across different universes with different rules. In Doom, gods can be killed if you're strong enough. In Warhammer 40K, Chaos gods cannot be permanently killed because they are manifestations of emotion. These are different cosmologies. But if we take both characters at their peak and make them fight in a neutral ground, I give the edge to the Doomslayer for one reason. The Slayer has feats of killing creator gods. Khorne does not have feats of killing creator gods. The Slayer killed Davoth. Khorne has never killed anything on that level. The Emperor stalemated all 4 Chaos gods during the Webway War. That means one sufficiently powerful being can fight Chaos gods. The Slayer is that powerful. Now, let me address the corruption argument. Can Khorne corrupt the Doomslayer? In 40K lore, exposure to chaos corrupts people. Even Space Marines fall to chaos. Even Primarchs fell. Khorne is incredibly seductive to warriors. He offers power, glory, endless battle. The Slayer lives for battle. Wouldn't he be tempted? No. Here's why. The Slayer's rage is pure. He doesn't fight for glory or power. He fights because demons hurt people, and he hates demons. His motivation is vengeance and protection. He's not seeking bloodshed for its own sake. He's seeking justice. Khorne cannot offer him anything he wants. Khorne offers endless war, but the Slayer doesn't want endless war. He wants demons to stop existing. The Slayer would reject Khorne because Khorne represents everything the Slayer hates. In Doom lore, the Slayer resisted corruption from Hell for eons. Hell tried to break him, tempt him, corrupt him. It failed. The demons feared him because he was incorruptible. That same incorruptibility would protect him from Khorne. Khorne feeds on rage, but the Slayer's rage is directed. It's not mindless. It's focused fury with a purpose. That makes him immune to chaos corruption. So Khorne cannot corrupt the Slayer. Khorne cannot kill the Slayer with his demons. Khorne's only option is to manifest physically and fight. And if Khorne does that, the Slayer has a chance to win. Let's run one more scenario. The ultimate showdown. Khorne manifests in his full form, a 100-foot-tall avatar of rage, in the middle of a 40K battlefield. The Doomslayer is teleported there with all his weapons and armor. They fight to the death. What happens? Khorne's avatar is surrounded by his demons. Bloodthirsters, bloodletters, demon engines, everything. The Slayer charges through them. He's fought worse. In Doom Eternal, the Slayer killed thousands of demons in Hell. He can handle this. He reaches Khorne. Khorne swings a massive demon sword. The Slayer dodges. He's fast. He pulls out the BFG and fires directly at Khorne's head. The plasma blast hits. Khorne stumbles. The BFG is powered by Argent Energy, which is Hell energy refined and weaponized. It hurts Khorne. Khorne roars, and the roar shakes reality. Space Marines nearby fall to their knees. The Slayer doesn't. He's hurt worse. He switches to the Crucible and charges. He jumps 100 feet in the air because he's the Doom Slayer and physics don't apply to him. He drives the Crucible into Khorne's chest. The Crucible pierces Khorne's armor. Khorne screams. The scream is heard across the galaxy. Every Khorne worshipper feels it. The Slayer twists the blade, and Khorne's avatar starts disintegrating. Khorne is being banished back to the warp, but before he vanishes, Khorne speaks. "You cannot kill me, mortal. I am eternal. I am rage itself. As long as blood flows, I exist." The Slayer responds, "Then I'll kill you again." Khorne's avatar dissolves. The Slayer stands victorious. The demons around him retreat. The Slayer has won. But Khorne laughs from the warp. "We will meet again." That's the fight. The Slayer wins the physical battle. Khorne retreats to the warp. Neither is permanently destroyed, but the Slayer proved he can banish Khorne. That's a victory. Now, let's talk about what this fight represents thematically. The Doomslayer represents human determination. He's a man who refused to die, who spent eons in hell fighting for humanity. He's not the strongest being in his universe, but he's the most determined. He cannot be broken. Khorne represents the worst of humanity. He's rage without purpose, violence without meaning, bloodshed for its own sake. He's what happens when war becomes an end instead of a means. He's humanity's dark reflection. When they fight, it's a battle of philosophies. The Slayer's focused rage versus Khorne's mindless bloodlust. The Slayer's purpose versus Khorne's nihilism. And, thematically, purpose beats nihilism. The Slayer's rage has meaning. Khorne's rage is empty. That's why the Slayer can resist Khorne's corruption. In narrative terms, the Slayer is the protagonist. He wins because he represents the triumph of will over chaos. Khorne is antagonistic chaos. In story terms, the hero defeats chaos. That's why I give the edge to the Slayer in a direct fight. But Warhammer 40K is grimdark. In 40K, chaos wins. The Imperium is falling. Khorne grows stronger every day. The galaxy is doomed. In that context, Khorne cannot lose because he represents the inevitability of violence. As long as war exists, Khorne wins by existing. So we're back to the paradox. In a fight, Slayer wins. In the long term, Khorne wins because he's inevitable. The Slayer can kill Khorne's avatars forever, but Khorne will always return. That's the nature of Chaos Gods. Here's my ultimate answer. If you put them in an arena and say fight to the death, the Doomslayer wins. He's killed gods before. He'll kill Khorne's physical form. But if the question is, can the Doomslayer permanently end Khorne's existence? The answer is no. Khorne is a concept. You can't kill concepts with violence. But here's the thing. The Slayer doesn't need to permanently kill Khorne. He just needs to win the fight. And in a straight fight between the Doomslayer and any physical manifestation of Khorne, the Slayer wins more often than not. That's my answer. So who actually wins? The Doomslayer wins the battle. Khorne wins the war. But in a one-on-one fight, which is what the title asks, the Doomslayer takes it 5.5 out of 10 times. It's close, it's brutal, it's the hardest fight either of them has ever had. But the Slayer's experience killing gods gives him the edge. Now I know both sides are going to argue with this. Warhammer fans will say I'm underestimating Khorne's power and overestimating the Slayer's feats. Doom fans will say I'm underestimating the Slayer and being too generous to Khorne. But I spent weeks researching this and I'm confident in my answer. The reason the Slayer wins comes down to feats. The Slayer has a confirmed feat of killing a creator god. Khorne does not have a confirmed feat of beating a god killer. The Slayer killed Devoth, who created the multiverse. That's a bigger feat than anything Khorne has done. Khorne has killed billions, but he's never killed a creator god. Power scaling across universes is always controversial, but when one character has definitively killed a creator god and the other hasn't, you have to give the edge to the god killer. That's the Doomslayer. Now, let me address one more argument. Some Warhammer fans say the Emperor couldn't permanently kill the Chaos Gods, so how could the Slayer? The Emperor is the most powerful Psyker in existence, and even he couldn't end chaos. What makes the Slayer different? Here's what makes the Slayer different. The Slayer doesn't use psychic powers. He uses physical force enhanced by divine energy. chaos. Gods are vulnerable to certain kinds of attacks. The Emperor's power is psychic, which means he fights them in the warp where they are strongest. The Slayer doesn't fight in the warp unless forced to. He fights in reality where his physical power matters. If Khorne manifests physically, the Slayer can kill him with the Crucible, which is a blade empowered by divine energy from outside the Warhammer universe. The Crucible is not bound by warp rules. It's Argent energy from a different dimension. That makes it effective against chaos in ways 40K weapons aren't. Think of it this way. 40K weapons are designed to fight 40K enemies. The Crucible is designed to fight Doom enemies, which include multiverse-threatening demons. It's a different tier of weapon. That's why it can hurt Khorne. Alright, let's wrap this up. I've compared their origins, their powers, their feats. I've run scenarios. I've analyzed the philosophy. I've addressed the arguments from both sides. Here's my final verdict. In a physical fight in the material universe, the Doomslayer defeats Khorne's avatar, or any manifestation of Khorne 5.5 out of 10 times. It's close, but the Slayer's experience killing gods and his divine weapons give him the edge. The Slayer can banish Khorne back to the warp repeatedly. In the warp, fighting Khorne as a pure concept, the Slayer cannot win. He can fight forever without losing, but he also cannot permanently destroy Khorne. It's a stalemate that favors Khorne because the Slayer is stuck there. Overall, the answer to who actually wins is the Doomslayer wins the fight. He's the better combatant. He has better feats. He's killed bigger things. But Khorne wins the war because he's unkillable as long as violence exists. The Doomslayer is the ultimate demon killer. Khorne is the ultimate demon. When they fight, the demon killer wins. That's the narrative logic. That's the power scaling. That's the answer. Thanks for watching 1 hour of me analyzing the most metal matchup in fiction. The Doomslayer versus the Blood God. If you disagree, drop your arguments in the comments. Show me the feats I missed. Tell me why I'm wrong. I want to hear from both sides. If you want more crossover battles, hit subscribe, because I'm doing more of these. Galactic Empire versus Imperium of Man is next. Superman versus the Chaos Gods is coming. This is just the beginning. Remember, Khorne cares not from whence the blood flows. But the Doomslayer cares very much about stopping the blood flow. And in a fight between caring and not caring, caring wins. Rip and tear. Blood for the Blood God. May the angriest warrior win. And in this case, that's the Doomslayer.